Hey guys, Matt here, Broken Supercoach, checking in. It's actually the second time I'm recording this because the first time I waffled a bit, it got really quiet. Triggered as we all do, because this is absolutely horrendous what we're looking at. But I thought, sorry, excuse me, I'm on the wrong teams. But I thought, let's do a reshoot because I changed the trade already. So we'll just do a quick reshoot. The teams we don't really have to talk about. All we have to talk about is that there's no Chincotta. We've got signs of a new ruckman coming in towards in a couple of weeks. Not a huge amount of changes for anyone. Oliver's the big injury. Obviously, the massive news, well, not massive news, but just annoying news. Simpson rested. We hate that. We don't know what it means. Is he playing next week? Is he not? I think I can afford to hold him, maybe, but I'll probably trade him out. Well, yeah, I'm an R about that. There's two I've got I'm an R about. West Coast, yeah, Chess is out. If you have Chess, that's your signal. What else do we have? We got guys like who was the other one? Drury named on the bench. We hate that. Eddie Ford named on the extended bench. So if you're going to go early on him, which I'm not going to go early on rookies ever again. And having said that, I am going to go early on George Wardlaw. So yes, I'm going early on another Kangaroos rookie, but I can explain my reasoning shortly. Then we've got this junk, Harry Sharp getting dropped, straight up dropped. You just can't make a good call here. You got Bailey Humphrey playing, so we're going to grab him, even though he's 285. You just have to pick him just because his buy is so favourable. He's playing so well. I think you kind of have to pick Bailey Humphrey and just absorb his costs, and hopefully he makes another 70k for us, and then we ship him out towards the end of his buys, and hopefully he's up to about 400 by then. So let's have a look at the team. A lot of people are going to struggle to field a full side here. It's crazy how bad this is. So if you've got Josh Kelly, then in your mids, then I'm genuinely wondering how you're going to field a team this week. If you've got Oliver, say it's Oliver, Kelly, you've got Simpson, Sharp. Perhaps you've still got Chesser. Then I don't know how you're fielding a team. It's crazy how bad this is at the moment. Oliver, out he goes. Now, one tip I'll give is if you're playing for leagues, I don't know if trading Oliver's the right call, if I'm being honest here. If you're just playing to win your mini league and you're doing quite well in the league, perhaps you're already in the top end, I think you could probably hold Oliver. A lot of leagues don't play over the buys. Check your fixture, see if you do. You probably hold him, and he's probably back by the time the business end of your league starts. If you're playing for overall, I mean, we said this about Stewart, but I'll be trading Oliver, and I don't think we'll be getting him back, which is wild because we started him and we were really happy about him, but I just don't think we can afford to get him back. The other one is Chincotta. He's got to go. So I've got a few choices here that I can do. None of them are good. We send Atkins up. We obviously bring in Humphrey. So we'll go like that. He's the obvious one. Yes, he's 285. I think he has to come in. I think you can't avoid him. It was a mistake to not have him last week, and that was really silly of me. But I just didn't trust these type of scores. I know he was the sub, but I just don't like it. But here you go. Whatever. 117, 101. Played an absolute rubbish team there, but whatever. In he comes. He'll probably drop a 50, but everyone's got him now, so it's a bit of fail by numbers, I guess. So if we fail, everyone fails, so it's no big deal. And what are we going to do? We can't field Sharp. Supposed to keep fielding Atkins, but whatever. So the other one will be, I probably will boost. Now, hear me out. It's buys next week, so every trade week from now on, you get an extra trade because it's buys from next week onwards. So you are going to get an extra trade. And I won't have enough trades after that to boost, to use 3 trades in a single week. So I'll use my last boost this week. That's pretty well timed, I think. I probably could have used it earlier. If you've still got boost now, you're probably not going to use them. So keep that in mind for next year. Really be liberal with those boosts because you're not going to use them. And any leftover boosts you had, think about rookies that you missed who came in at the same time. You could have got them if you had just boosted more liberally. I think the point is that you should run through 5 boosts. What do you get? 5? By round 12. So every other round you can boost. So, which is basically what I've done. I basically boosted every other round. So, probably trade Simpson. Now, probably not though. Probably long. I know he's playing and we love warm bodies. Break even of 48. It's so risky because what if Simpson doesn't come back? Long covers us nicely for the buy. He doesn't make any money, but hopefully he can play out the buys. So it's a really tricky one. The question is, does that matter? Because we've got, like, I actually think going early on Wardlaw is wrong. So here's my thought. Okay, here's my thought process here. Who is this that I'm hovering right now? North Melbourne have a bye in round 15. So they're the last team to have a bye. And West Coast have a bye in round 14. So it's not huge. But what it does allow us to do, it's not even the right way. Oh, it's just so frustrating. Like, we don't even get a bonus game going from Long, who's got a bye in 14. It's one less. So that line of thinking is probably off. Well, in that case, we go back to our original thoughts. So anyway, so the question of who I bring in here, I think I'm just going to bring in Sarong like I'd planned. I think I really like him. His scoring is so consistent, and that's what this team needs. A lot of people go on Merritt for the extra money, Brayshaw for the extra money. I respect you for that. I like it. I like this type of consistency from a guy. I really do. Where, this is a guy you can set your watch to. We're really happy. We'd be really happy with those type of scores. We're not looking for 120s, 130s every week. We just want to set our watch to a cool 100. Be able to look at there and see 100. We want another Tom Green, who we know, we can just look down every week and see that he scored 100 and something. That's all we really want. Because at the moment, we got blokes dropping 90s, 80s here and there. So that's what we're going to do. So now that I've thought about that, the reason I will go early on Wardlaw for Simpson is thusly. Is thusly, okay? I need a player on field. So Sam Simpson's not playing, and we don't know if he's going to come back. So it'd be a disaster to trade Long, knowing full well that he's playing at least. At least he's a warm body. I'm going to use that term a lot because we've only got 2 warm bodies on the bench. One of them is technically not on the bench. So no longer is on field. So we've actually only got one playing bloke on the bench. So we trade Simpson because he's not playing. His break-even is high-ish. He doesn't really score that amount. Same with Long, but at least he's playing. Remember that. So Simpson goes. We put Gordon back to his natty spot, which is in the midfield. He's a natty forward, in the forward line for us. So it's natty forward. So that's 6 forwards. Honestly, Sheasel's a keeper forward for us now. We just have to sort of close our eyes and hope. And now we've still got one more spot. The reason we're not bringing in a defender over Sarong is because that makes it really difficult for us to get that money off of Mitchell and Atkins. We're already probably not going to be able to trade one of these just because we have no one to go back up there. So what we could do is trade Mitchell, send Sheasel back there, trade Atkins. It just doesn't work, if you know what I mean. Like, there is not a defender to go here. Look ahead. I urge you, look ahead. There's no one. So keep that in mind when you're trading Mitchell this week for a defender and putting Mitchell on the bench. You do not have money to get him off. Like, it's going to be very difficult to get him off. Unless you've got Atkins here. But I obviously have put Atkins there for this reason. So, anyway, we've ranted about that enough. In comes Wardlaw, and for the reason is that if it's an on-field score, I realize it's a crazy reason to trade, but I trust that Wardlaw's going to score 60 to 80 compared to Long, who's going to score 20 to 30. And I am willing to go early on a 40-point trade. Oh, and now I'm not so sure. 37 against Hawthorn. They played like trash. They're back at home. Look, I'm really going to think about that. Honestly, we're all really umming and ahhing about this. I actually think the risk isn't there. All right. We've called it. We're not trading Simpson. Sorry. We send Goulden back. Simpson goes back in. We hit complete. It's Sarong and Humphrey for Oliver and Chincotta. And we're going to field Long. We're going to hope that he goes back to his pre-injury form of 60s. Because the upgrade to Wardlaw and going early on Wardlaw is truly scary for me. So that leaves us with exactly one bench cover. We love that. We can at least do a trick, can we? Yeah, we can at least loop Mitchell with Atkins, because you just see whatever Mitchell scores, and then that night, if you like, that he scored 60 odd, I'd probably take a 60 to 70. You just sub Constable on because he apparently doesn't exist as a player. What are we going to do? Vice captain Big Rowan Marshall, I think, just for a laugh. Who actually cares? And then probably Captain Laird against Brisbane. I think he's got a good history against him. He sure does. So, yeah, that's me. Not happy with it. We're going to really be riding rookie roulette here. 0 looks here. We hate this. Hopefully, Sturt gets named. Very interesting rested, but he's been listed in the 22. Is that what I'm reading? But he's sitting right there. That scares me more than a lot. Another thing we'll have to do is on Saturday just make sure that this guy's not named subbed. And if he is named sub, then again, we will go to Wardlaw or Ford. More than likely Ford. We'll keep that in mind. We'll think about that, because if he's named sub, despite being called rested, we will immediately move him, because we can't afford to have a bloke. We can't afford to have him lose money like that. Like, we need money off of this rookie. So, at the risk of continuing this video for too long, what's our next plan? I want to at least share with you what the plan is going forward. So, no more forwards to come in. Goulden goes here, which means we've got 2 more mids to come in. And one of them is going to be Humphrey, preferably extremely cheap sideways, probably to Merritt or Brayshaw or something like that. Another defender, probably Sinclair. Would have loved to have done that this week, but I just think that Sarong is going to be a more consistent call than Sinclair. I'm not a big believer in Sinclair, and I think there's still time to choose between those. Forward DPP is an option as well, so we do have to think that Sheasel could actually be our six guy here, because DPP starts next week. So Walsh may get DPP, and then he becomes a massive target for us. And in fact, if Walsh didn't have a high break even this week, we probably would have brought him in 594 with a break even 132. So we could actually be prime next week to go both the Kangaroos guys down, as in Noah Long, probably perhaps Simpson down. Yeah, we've got no money, lads. We've got no money. So perhaps it's something like Mitchell down, Sheasel up. That will give us, say, 100 and something K, 71. And then we find money somewhere off of perhaps Simpson or Long. We find money there. And then we get Walsh. So that could be the option. We'd have money for Walsh that way. I'm going to pull out a calculator. You guys might not see it, but I really want to know if that's the type of money, because I may not be able to get Sarong if I start thinking like that. So I don't know how to actually show you the calculator, but if we have 71 and then we take 167 say it's 150k. We'll be really conservative. We'll say it's 150k off of Seamus Mitchell. Sorry, 71 plus. I say it's 150 off of Seamus Mitchell. That gives us 221k to work with. And then we take another, say, another 130 off of him. It's 350k that we've got to work with. So we should have the money for Walsh, and that leaves us, we have to choose who to put up. So there's Long, Simpson, and Mitchell. Yeah, that does get us. And then, sorry, plus 250. 601. So we really, that's really tight. We actually have to really hope that if Walsh breaks even or scores well against Sydney, like if he goes for a 140, we're screwed. And he scored 130 against them last time. Where's he playing? The SCG. Oh, man. And then what? Petrarca is just out of reach, isn't he? 658 for DPPs. So, I hate doing this. But this is why, like, pull out your calculator. Press the start button, go to the calculator. This is going to look so genius. And if you're still watching this video, thank you for watching. And when you see me next week, be able to bring in Walsh. If the difference between... So what's Sarong now? Let's write it down as a group together. 612, 72, 40k. So if the difference between me getting Walsh and me not getting Walsh next week is 40k, then I am a genius. All right? Anyway, that's my video done. Thanks for watching. Obviously, I've lost the plot here. This is horrendous, but it is what it is. And if I've missed Sarong, and if Walsh doesn't get DPP, and I've missed Sarong, and I've got Brayshaw instead, who does absolutely nothing next week, probably don't expect to see too many more videos after that. So, anyway, blokes, take it easy.